praise my neighbor in the name of love. I praise my sister, I raise my sister in the name of love. I praise my sister, I raise my sister in the name of love. I praise my brother, I raise my brother in the name of love. I praise my brother, I raise my brother in the name of love. I praise my family, I raise my family in the name of love. I praise my family, I raise my family in the name of love. I praise the children, I raise the children in the name of love. I praise the children, I raise the children in the name of love. I praise myself, I raise myself in the name of love. I praise myself, I raise myself in the name of love. I praise myself, I raise myself in the name of love. I praise myself, I raise myself in the name of love. I praise myself, I raise myself in the name of love. I praise myself, I raise myself in the name of love. I praise my life, I raise my life in the name of love. I praise my life, I raise my life in the name of love. I praise myself, I raise myself in the name of love. I praise myself, I raise myself in the name of love.
Gratitude fills me, overwhelms me and heals me. There is such light in my soul. It illuminates the darkness, gives me strength to meet the challenges, and I know in this presence I am whole. Holy presence embraces me. Divine love sustains me. Every day is a chance to praise Thee. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Now I accept and allow all that life brings my way. I trust in the flow, and I'm willing to grow in the light, and the love and the glory.
This is Maxine Kaye welcoming you to the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. And so happy you're joining us, whether you're here in person with us or whether you are with us on a live stream. So we're gathered here as we are every Sunday morning to celebrate the mighty moving power of God in, through, and as each one of us. And wherever you may be on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome here with us. So we offer spiritual tools for very practical human experiences. And we're happy that you're joining us as we move along together on our path of discovery. And it is a beautiful path of discovery. We honor Centers for Spiritual Living's vision statement, which is awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And we also are seriously determined to create a world that works for all. We have a purpose statement. Some of you know it quite well. And would you like to say it with me? We'll make it easy for you. It's right there. Okay, together. Living, loving, learning, spirituality that works. And now our opening song that was written and is expressed for you by Jim Wade. It's called The Gathering Song.
Thank you. You come to love and seek
was our wonderful music team. I would like to talk to the kids. Wherever you are. You're not here today, that's okay. Wherever you are, I can still speak to you, and I will. So, have you enjoyed the Thanksgiving holidays in the past with, Grandma and Grandpa, aunts and uncles, perhaps? Did you go to their homes? That would be so wonderful. I did not grow up near any relatives at all, except, well, I was very near to my parents and my two brothers because we all lived together in the same house. But we didn't have anybody to go visit. No one was near us. So I'm very, very happy to think about you being so fortunate, many of you, who are able to go to Grandma and Grandpa's or to aunts and uncles and celebrate with these dear relatives. You know, in olden times, people used to ride in horse-drawn carriages, and imagine that in many places it might have been snowing at Thanksgiving time. And so that's why they wrote the song, "Over the river and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry through the sleigh, through the white and drifting snow, ho." You know that one, right? I don't know if you do. Apparently I don't know it well enough. Traveling to be with dear people is wonderful. And Reverend Mike and I are going to be flying to Kansas City this week to be with eldest son Jim, and it will be wonderful. But who's cooking? The chef in the restaurant. You can have Thanksgiving all kinds of different ways, you know, and so there's no baking for me this year. I used to be the pie and the bread and the muffin baker, and what's important is that we'll be with people that we love, because, you know, as yummy as that Thanksgiving feast can be, it's really not all about the food. Oh, really? No, really. It's about being with people that we love. It's about coming home, even though we may not be in our homes, but in someone else's home or in a restaurant. It's very much the same, you see, when we come home to God. How do we do that? Well, it's when we remember that even if there's something that's not happy going on in our lives, that we can just be real still, and we can listen to our hearts, feel our hearts beating, and realize that that's the presence of God within us. Because Jesus said that God is nearer than your hands and feet, closer than breathing. So we don't look for God somewhere off in the sky, but we just get real quiet and we listen within our hearts. And that's when we feel that loving presence of God. It's kind of like a warm blanket. And this time of year, a warm blanket is a good thing, isn't it? So it's a very important journey that we take into our hearts. It's just like the prodigal son, because we're always greeted with open arms and happy, happy solutions. So happy Thanksgiving coming up, wherever you are, with whomever you may be. Let's have a wonderful, wonderful time of feeling so grateful for the presence of God within us and within everyone, and for the beautiful people in our lives. We love them. And I love you. Scamper off. Okay, so let's have a meditation now, shall we? Alrighty, deeply, deeply breathing in that holy breath of God. And releasing the tension or any false sense of separation. Continue that sweet breath that is the chi, the psyche, that presence, that loving presence of divine life itself moving through our bodies and our emotions and our intellect. Imagine that this breath becomes a pathway to our heart. Let's just walk across that bridge to our hearts. Enter in, enter deeply into your heart, and realize and remember that each of our hearts is always, always held very tenderly in the great heart of God itself. Now let's imagine any world events or personal concerns moving away, moving away. Watch them dissolve one by one, and replace each one with a healthy vision. Begin accepting a greater idea, a greater good. Let's just relax into that loving nurture. Let yourself be held in the divine embrace. Let yourself be loved. Come into the sacred silence where we open our hearts to hear our intuitive knowing, which is the voice of God within us. Let's listen with the ear of our heart. Now accepting the divine guidance that is here present and continues to be with us, let's also accept our new vision. Allow it to become real for you. Give thanks for it. Give thanks, for in truth, all is well. All is well. On the deepest, deepest level, all is well. Now I would like to invite our practitioner of the day to come up and open us up with some beautiful words. And today, this is Mary Furtaw.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please join me. Please join me in knowing that there is one power in the universe, and this power is a force for good. And this power can be traced to the one source. The source is God, and God is infinite goodness. And each of us is an extension of this energy, impossible of separation from it. Now, since God is infinite goodness and we are created to express it, the more good we enjoy in our lives, the more we're expressing God. And the more good we enjoy, the more gratitude we express. And the more gratitude we express, the easier it is for our consciousness to lean toward the positive. And a cycle of good is established. This is the spiritual approach to Thanksgiving. It introduces a different dimension to the customary way of celebrating Thanksgiving, but the two together combined complete the tradition. This is the truth. I am grateful that it is, and I release the treatment to the law, certain that it is so, and so it is.
Thank you, Mary. Okay. Now will you join me in our affirmation? I maintain my clear focus on my faith-filled journey home, enjoying each pathway to spirit. Now we have our very special Thanksgiving, Sunday before Thanksgiving tradition, which is our bountiful bouquet. Now I knew that we would not have a full house present today, so I'm going to ask two things. One is that the people who are with us virtually, you imagine, if you would, that you are adding to our bouquet that everyone here will be building shortly. And those of you who are here, I'm going to ask that after you place your flowers in the basket, creating a beautiful bouquet, that you go back and get some more until we have filled this up, okay? We'll do that. All right. This is an opportunity for us to realize that this is symbolic of bringing our unique personal gifts to our beloved spiritual community, and that together we create something quite amazing. So, Maestro, whenever you're ready, we'll play some music. We'll ask you to come up 2 by 2, place your flowers in the basket, and then go get some more and do it again. Okay? Ready? call him Peter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. With every breath I take, I'm grateful. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. With every breath I take, I'm grateful. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. With every breath I take, I'm grateful. I am 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 grateful. I promise in this moment I am great to keep my heart wide open. I am great with every breath I am grateful. I am great. I promise in this moment I am great to keep my heart wide open. I am great with every breath.
Look what you did. As Margaret Mead said, never underestimate a small group of conscious people to change the world by the way nothing else ever really has. That's a paraphrase, but you know what I mean. Look what happens when each of you brings your beautiful individual gift and participates in the whole. Something phenomenal takes place. Wow. Wow. You proud of yourselves? Yeah. Well, you ought to be. Good. And we're going to send a picture of this to the florist from whom we purchased the flowers yesterday. And I'm going to give them a plug right now. Whole Foods in Exton. Wonderful, wonderful flowers. Gosh, that's something to keep our eyes on, isn't it? Well, yeah, what we can do when we bring our hearts together to love and support and celebrate each other and bring a new vision into the world. Wow. We all get to look at it all morning now. That's great. Okay, so we continue our theme for the month, which is the grateful heart. How appropriate. And our quote today is from Ernest Holmes. If we would come to the universal wholeness, we must approach it through the law of its own nature. This means that we must give our undivided attention to the spiritual unit back of all things. We are all on a spiritual journey, aren't we? Those of us here, those of us who've tuned in, and those who aren't even with us today in any way, shape, or form, because they'll still get the vibes, right? Everyone is on his and her own spiritual journey. There's no exception. This is our evolutionary process, both individually and as a human race. And so we experience, so many different paths and highways and byways on our spiritual journey. Anybody ever have a little byway? Anybody ever sort of take a circuitous route? Well, that's what we do. That's the human part of us, and it's kind of fun sometimes, as long as we don't wind up in a ditch where we can't really get out of it. And we always can get out of it, because we have a great spirit within us, this mighty moving power of God that will lift us out of anything that we may have gotten ourselves into. So none of these paths are wrong. Each one of them has brought us gifts and will continue to do that. Each one of us has brought us possibilities of a greater growth, right? Of course. So the sooner we find the straight path, the easier the travel becomes. And what is the straight path? It's not being goody two-shoes. It is following our inner lodestone, following our intuition, our divine guide, which resides within each one of us. As we follow that, we are on the straight path, which still is going to take some twists and turns. You know that even the rocket to the moon is off course about 99% of the time because it has to tack like a sailboat, right? It has to move this way and that way, this way and that way, and ultimately it gets to its wonderful destination. So we are in the process of discovering how to allow ourselves to be divinely guided on our spiritual paths over the river and through the woods and through the brambles and every place else we may find ourselves as we are coming home. Oh, that's a beautiful word, isn't it? Say it with me. Home. E.T. All of us are celebrating our journey home. You know what else we're celebrating today? We're celebrating Yoga's 20th birthday. Yeah. And she had to come to church today. Papa said, why don't you unzip her so people can see her? And if we... Jeff, if we bring her around to the center or there, to the center, okay, would you bring her to the center, Papa? And then you can see what a pretty girl she is, except she's got her back. Oh, there she is. Okay, there's our Yoga. Oh, you took your scarf off. She had a scarf on this morning.
She likes to take her clothes off.
You know what? She's here celebrating her 20th birthday, and she hasn't been here to our celebration for a long time. She doesn't see anymore with her outer eye. She doesn't hear anymore much. She still has selective hearing. She's a teenager. Or no, she's not a teenager anymore. But she's wonderfully healthy and happy. And she's amazing how she can get around without really seeing where she is. She senses it. That's that instinct in our beloveds. Thank you. Thank you, Papa, for bringing the Yoga up to say hello. The instinct in animals is pretty much the same, because it's infinite intelligence, pretty much the same as within us, which is intuition, inner knowing. So we pay attention. That's our tuition. We pay attention to the inner voice. When we do, we have a much easier evolutionary process home. So I'll tell you a little bit more about Yoga. Her path was circuitous, for sure. She began as a little lost girl wandering the streets in Palm Springs. And a couple of gentlemen who were spending the weekend out there found her. And she had been sleeping under trucks. She was about 4 years old. And I don't know, I will never know how this precious little angel wound up on the streets. But a little girl had been feeding her and giving her water. So however long she'd been out there, she was still okay. And these young men were going back to their home in Los Angeles, couldn't take her. So they called me and said, how would you like a dog? I said, I'm not set up for an animal, but are you coming back for, this was the Sunday before Thanksgiving. Are you coming back for Thanksgiving? Yes, we are. Come and have Thanksgiving with Jeff and me, my son. And so they said, sure, we can do that. Bring her back. Just go pick up some supplies for her. Bring her to the house. I'll watch her a few days, and we'll find a home for her. Yeah, right. So, of course, this little girl was hungry and thirsty and very dirty, needing a bath, needing love, needing a home. And she found one with me, and she has been my constant companion for 16 years. So she's traveled many places with me. We've lived many different places, she and I. And then we traveled to Florida, and we stayed with my daughter and son-in-law for a few months. And then finally, when Reverend Mike and I began traveling our path together, she found herself a papa. And it was a mutual love affair, and it still is. So we all arrived in Philadelphia on December 1st, 2014, and we all became a part of this beloved community. So it just seemed appropriate to bring her today. Thank you for loving our Yoga. She loves you, and she's all cozy again in her yoga buggy. Okay, so holiday visits home remind us of our ability to return to the holy household, that holy household of comfort and harmony. Now, I have heard, tell me if this is correct, I have heard that some family gatherings can become a bit contentious. Has that ever happened? Have you ever read about that? I know it hasn't happened in your lives, but I'm sure that we read stories. And sometimes, especially if opposing views come up, with religion or politics, they're not always handled respectfully. Could that be true? Well, it could happen, I suppose. Well, that, right in the middle of anything like that might occur, is the perfect time. Oh, they're going for a stroll. That's the perfect time to come home quietly within ourselves, just as I was suggesting to the kids this morning. So we begin to see others, not as others at all, but by extensions of ourselves. And we begin to see the beloved in whom God is well pleased within each of them. And as we remain in that deeper connection, we have a deeper communication and a more loving communication, even without a word. Because, just because somebody might want to start a fuss doesn't mean that we need to play. We can play our own God game, which is seeing the beloved within the other and bringing and inviting harmony and peace into that circle. So if you have ever heard of anybody who has such a gathering, you might mention that to them, because I know you're not going to need it. So as Thich Nhat Hanh says, be kind whenever possible. And it is always possible. It is always possible. Now that's a wonderful awareness. It is always possible to be kind. And we can model a healthy approach to relationships by practicing what? The 4 agreements. And everyone here knows what they are, right? Be impeccable with your word. Now what does that mean? That means speak only lovely things. And if you can't, then say nothing. And that also includes not doing any form of gossip. So that when you're speaking truth. You're speaking that which is kind and loving and true. Be impeccable with your word. We love doing that. Oh, we slip sometimes, but that's what the 4th agreement is for. The second one is don't take things personally. That's easy, isn't it? Don't take things personally. You don't know what kind of a day that person may have had. You don't know what might have happened earlier or who they're worried about in their lives. So if something is said that might get your bristles up, get your feathers up instead. And just experience the divine within that person and open your heart to bring that person in and bring in him or her in with compassion. Rather than a reaction, let's have a response of love. Yeah. And don't take things personally. The third one is don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. We might look at something or someone and think, well, they burned that turkey on purpose. No, they didn't. Things happen. That's what we laugh about. Remember, it's not about the food. Is it? Well, I know we've got happy memories about food. But don't make assumptions. Like somebody came in seeming in a certain mood. We don't know what that was about. It certainly isn't about us. Which is why we go back to the second one, don't take things personally. But the third one is don't assume. Don't assume. Don't assume. And the fourth one is the one that makes all 3 easier. Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? Over the river and through the woods, there we go. Do your best. Always do your best. And if you're not always impeccable with your word, keep doing your best. If you sometimes take things personally, oh well, do your best. If you once in a while make an assumption, please do your best. So that just sort of makes the whole thing more palatable, doesn't it? But as we practice these 4 agreements, then It's a wonderful thing to do, no matter where we are or with whom we may be at that moment. So we journey on our individual paths, and each of our paths is perfect for us. And we don't compare with other people's paths, and we don't in any way criticize another person's journey. That's his journey. That's her journey. This is my journey. And it's like that wonderful vision of people in different faith traditions all coming up the mountain on different trails. And we wave to each other and smile at each other, knowing that ultimately we're all going to get to the same place. And this is a wonderful awareness. It's important that we respect one another. Like our interfaith winter solstice that's coming up on December 18th. We are so delighted every year to experience true interfaith presentations. We have people from so many different religious traditions presenting for us, lifting us to a new awareness that, yes, there's dark, and that's okay. We nurture the night, or the night is nurturing, and we move into loving the light. And then each faith tradition speaks about how they approach this idea of the darkness and the light. Because, of course, the winter solstice is when we're moving from the darkest place possible into greater light. So interfaith is my middle name. So we honor these different paths. We honor each one. And we want to bring love and mutual respect and joy to every gathering, letting it be just fine that each person is in his or her own political mindset, faith tradition, whatever their traditions are. Let's just honor them. That allows us to be comfortable with our own and to celebrate our own even more and to celebrate all together. It's like these beautiful flowers. They are all quite different and they belong together. And they're happy the way they are. Don't they look happy? And that's how we can all live our lives, not only on Thanksgiving, but every day of our lives. We're grateful. We're grateful. And we go through so many different routes in order to come to the next level of our spiritual evolutionary process. And let's honor each moment along that path. Let's keep our vision on the truth that is beyond the error. Let's keep our vision on the sacredness within every situation. The holiness or the wholeness. It's the same thing. The word means the same thing. Holiness, wholeness. Let's keep our attention on the wholeness of every person and every circumstance. There's an underlying harmony that is so ready to come forward. And you know how we call it forth? By having a heart filled with gratitude. You see, remember, gratitude is not just a nice thing. Thank you very much. I like yours too. Gratitude is a causative energy. When I maintain a deep sense of gratitude, I am causing only good to take place in my life. I'm opening my heart and my mind and my consciousness to receive a greater good, to be an open instrument through which Spirit says, hooray, Maxine, here, have some more. And says the same thing to you, use your own name. So gratitude is a causative energy. Our sustained energy and our sustained attention on the underlying harmony of the universe is what assures our successful experiences. Yes, we give thanks in all things, not necessarily for all things, but in all things, in an open-hearted consciousness of the divine possibilities that are just waiting to experience themselves and express themselves in and through your life and my life. Let's come home to the heart of God, no matter what our circuitous route has been, no matter how many mountains and woods and streams we might have crossed in our buggies to get there. Let's come home to the heart of God. And believe me, my dear ones, you will always be met halfway, just like the prodigal son was. as his father welcomed him home. Will you say with me, I am on the path to truth.
I am on the path to truth.
I find help along the way.
I find help along the way.
I give and receive great gifts.
I give and receive great gifts.
I love my journey home.
I love my journey home.
And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson. Thank you. Yoo-hoo, thank you. Grateful for you. Now is the time of our opportunity to share our abundance and to prime the pump and to open up our consciousness to give and to receive even greater good. And there are so many ways to give to whatever is the closest source of your spiritual food. This beloved community is mine, and it gives me great joy to contribute in every beautiful way. And I know you do as well. But there are so many ways to give, and some people like to give online and some on their phones, and it's such a techie world, isn't it? So we also, those of us who like to give into the crystal bowls in person, get to do that on Sundays. If you do choose to give cash, kindly pick up an envelope next to one of the crystal bowls and put your name on it so you can receive credit for it. Give credit where it is due. Now let's say our prosperity affirmation together, shall we? I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered. And so it is.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
all that
is a gift.
I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for it all.
You're the blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learn every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
All
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all,
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan. Well, there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Okay, wow, that touched me. So in the spirit of today, and expressing gratitude, thank you for the fabulous talk, Dr. Maxine. Yes, and so many great reminders going in. Did that touch you as well? She's, I love her. I know, we're sisters in that. But so many good reminders about how we can enjoy and express ourselves and honor and respect others and keep in mind the being together of Thanksgiving. So thank you for all of that. And I especially liked the attention to underlying harmony, that phrase. So I'll keep that in my mind as I go through the holidays. And also want to welcome everybody. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with us here today. And also through the live stream, welcome, welcome. We're so glad you're here. We have people from all over the country joining us, so that's very exciting. And this beautiful, bountiful bouquet, which has become quite a tradition here. Look how beautiful that is. And I have to say, I had a lot of flowers. Some of you may have noticed. There were some of us with a lot of flowers. But I made an intention as each flower was going in, people in my own heart, and also members of the community that we haven't seen in a while, right? So thinking of all of you guys and hoping that you'll come back soon on site and look at how beautiful we all are. So, I'm emotional today. Yeah, I know today. All right, so a little more than usual, we'll say. It must be the holidays, right? So, important topic here. Our annual intentional giving program information was mailed out to everyone, and it's important that we have your input within the next week. We're coming towards the end of the year. We're doing our planning, our budgeting for 2022. So we know that we have not received some that we have sent out. So we're asking that you pay close attention to that. I know I was a little late in sending mine in. So I think it's kind of easy to do, but we are coming to a point, I won't say critical, but we're coming to a point where it's really important for us to have as much information as possible so that we can plan accordingly. By giving this your careful consideration and returning your annual commitment for 2022 as quickly as possible, the board will be able to develop a budget that falls within the expected income so that we don't have any surprises down the road. And so thank you to everyone, again, in the spirit of gratitude. Thank you for everyone that has sent in your intentional giving information. Much appreciated. If anyone has any questions about the program, you may email our treasurer, Karen Davis, and are we going to have it up on the wall? I don't know. At kmdavis031@gmail.com. That's kmdavis031@gmail.com. And thank you, Karen, again, for being our wonderful, wonderful treasurer. Next topic, Another wonderful tradition here, winter solstice celebration. I know it's a small group, but can I get a woohoo? Oh, that was good. All right, very good. Thank you. Winter solstice celebration. Personally, I love this event. It's a wonderful way for us to really demonstrate how we see truth in all traditions, right? And we celebrate it. So we will have a number of guest speakers that evening. As Dr. Maxine mentioned, our theme this year is Nurturing Night, Loving the Light. And it's scheduled for Saturday, December 18th. Starts at 7 p.m. So we'll be live here on site at Suite 16, Saturday, December 18th. We will be rebroadcasting it on the actual solstice, which I believe is Tuesday. But we're going to have a wonderful event here with speakers from all different faith traditions, wonderful music, great inspirational talks. Edward, could you speak to that possibly?
Sure, I will.
Okay. Dr. Maxine's going to talk about Edward Villon. Not only is his name fun to say, but he is a wonderful, wonderful spiritual leader for us here at Centers for Spiritual Living. So I'll let her tell you more. Don't forget that our bookstore is open. We've got wonderful inspirational gifts and books. You can pick up the November Science of Mind magazine. Again, as a reminder, if you're watching us and enjoying our Sunday celebrations, which I know you are, and our love notes on Facebook or YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, or share with others. When you do that, you'll receive notices. When you subscribe, you'll receive notices about our Sunday celebration and daily love notes, which are wonderful. And I noticed you had one out on your deck recently. Enjoying the fall foliage, I'm sure. And another reminder, our celebration begins at 10:30. We have meditation at 10 a.m. here at Suite 16. And let's see. If anyone's interested in learning more about Breeze, which is one of our tools that we use to help manage information regarding our community and membership and the classes people take and all of that stuff, I'm happy to give you a little demonstration this afternoon. And that's about it for our announcements. Did I forget anything?
You didn't tell us who you are.
That's because I was in an emotional state when I walked up here. The song had me going. So thank you for the reminder. My name is Edie Janik, and I'm happy to serve as the president of the board for Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living, and that's who I am. Okay.
That is definitely who you are. Thank you, dear Edie. And you know, the reason that I know you brought all those flowers up is that you don't have just one gift to give. She has multiple gifts, and she gives them all the time. Yeah. So actually, you said everything about Edward Villon. Well, and you took my last paper, too. She has a gift of theft as well. Thank you. I love you. So, yes, Edward Villon is the spiritual leader of Centers for Spiritual Living. He was born in South Africa, and he has a wonderful accent, and he has a fabulous consciousness, and he is going to be a presenter as well. Of course, these people are sending in their recorded their videos to Jeff Messino, who does an amazing job of putting this all together. Yeah. So don't miss that. Be here on Saturday, December 18th at 7 o'clock. You'll hear more about it as we go along. So you're going to have a fabulous Thanksgiving. I'm already having one because I'm so, so grateful for every one of you and all of you out there and those of us who are finding us as well. So now we're going to have our closing song, which again is our wonderful music team from somewhere in the recent past. Not such a distant past. And this one is one that we love so much, and it is called Thankful Hearts. Yes, thank you. means take flowers home with you after we've taken enough pictures of it, okay? Take them all home with you. All right, and so we give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks, for our hearts are happy and overflowing with gratitude for the beloved presence within us all, within each other, for this beautiful community. We give thanks as we go forth from here. It is with a light step and a grateful heart, and so it is. So it is.